Time for our weekly look at what Canadians are thinking with Nanos on the numbers. This week, we take a look at the concerns surrounding the Liberal Party's fundraising and cash for access to be with the Prime Minister. Let's head to Ottawa. CTV's Don Martin gets the numbers from pollster Nick Nanos. Don.
Okay, it's time for Nanos on the numbers and a very timely set of statistics here, my friend.
Yes.
Yes, fundraising events,
political
political
I thought you were
parties.
Going to talk about Christmas.
No.
Giving gifts.
Numbers.
Oh.
Well, speaking of gifts, this is not a gift for the Prime Minister. This is like public, what are the public doing? They're approving or disapproving of Prime Minister getting paid access or access?
Well, this all has to do with the talk, the chatter about cash for access, these big ticket fundraisers where people can buy a ticket for upwards of $1,500.
He's not going to like these numbers.
No, actually, when we asked Canadians in the survey that we did with the Globe and Mail, we asked people whether they approve or disapprove, you can see that almost, about more than 6 out of every 10 Canadians disapprove or somewhat disapprove of these fundraising events where the tickets cost $1,500 and only a minority approve. So it just speaks to a level of discomfort that Canadians have on this particular issue.
15% that approve, are those federal cabinet ministers?
Oh, ouch. Lobbyists.
Exactly.
You know, those type of people about town.
You know, a lot of people have argued, what do you think? $1,500 is going to bend the Prime Minister's ear and he's going to do what you say for $1,500? That sounds highly improbable, but the public might have an opinion on that.
Yeah, well, you know, we asked people whether, you know, if someone bought a $1,500 ticket at a political event with the Prime Minister, would they be able to influence or not influence? A bit of a mixed bag, but you can see about 48% or half of Canadians think there can be some sort of influence on the Prime Minister, while the other half think that there is not influence. And you know, the key takeaway here is that people feel uncomfortable and they're unsure. There are a number of people that think that there could be influence as a result of these types of political fundraisers.
And they don't buy that he's following the letter of the law. It doesn't sound like they're saying
no,
that, you know.
I think a lot of it has to do with optics. Right?
Yeah. And it's easy to understand, isn't it, this scandal, if that's what you want to call it. It's an easy one people can understand. $1,500, Prime Minister's there, you talk to him about your topic, maybe he listens, maybe he doesn't. It's not like one of the more complicated ones,
exactly.
Right? All right, this is a different question. I wouldn't have thought about this. The number of people attending an event for the donor to successfully influence a cabinet minister. Explain that one.
Well, what we did was we asked what the kind of size of an event would be where people thought that influence could happen, and what it shows, at least about 33. If there are 33 or fewer people at an event, people are more likely to think that the Prime Minister can be influenced. So what does this mean? That means that if there was a large event, and this applies to the Liberals, the Conservatives, and New Democrats, if there was a large format event with 500, 600, 1,000 people, each paying $1,500, most Canadians would say, you know what, you're not going to be influencing anyone. It's when we get into these smaller events, 30 people or less, that people have a significantly higher level of concern about potential influence. And this isn't just about following the rules, it's about the optics. And I would say that the optics aren't good when it's a small fundraiser and people are interacting with the cabinet minister or the Prime Minister.
And the ones that are under investigation, well, the Ethics Commissioner hadn't decided whether to investigate them yet, but the ones that are being looked at are those small ones, are the ones where people with agendas are getting access to ministers and the Prime Minister. So is this going to stick? Yeah,
well, it could stick. You know, the thing is, if it's in somebody's house, I think people will say that's very different than if it's at a large hotel or at a convention center. Those are two completely different things.
But you know, we're heading into a break now. It's going to be a month and a half before the House is back, so the energy's left the controversy, if you will. The Prime Minister won't be talking about it for some time. It's not moving the numbers yet, right?
No, not at all. You know, when we ask Canadians who they would prefer as Prime Minister, and the tracking that we just completed and released this week, 54% of Canadians would prefer Justin Trudeau. He's actually 3 points higher than he was a year ago. Rona Ambrose is at 16%, Tom Mulcair at a lowly 7%. So none of this is sticking to the Prime Minister today. But what he has to watch out for is an accumulation effect, that all these little issues start rolling up and create a certain level of discomfort. as the other parties start to go through their leadership renewal process.
And you've always said this number is artificial, the 54% is art, because you're dealing against ghosts. You don't know who the leader's going to be.
He's the only thing on the political menu, so it's not surprising that he looks quite strong. But you know, even when we ask people whether he has the qualities or not of a good political leader, those numbers are still strong for Justin Trudeau. A year after he won his majority government.
It's amazing. All right, Nick Nanos on the numbers. Thanks very much. Have a happy holiday.
You too. Thanks, Don.
All right.